Hey, how's it going? My name is Craig Fries. I am doing the JavaScript learning module. The first thing is I'm gonna go run start without debugging, and then you can see I can choose Chrome, and then you can see my application as follows. It's a flashcard app. You can go through each of the different things, but if you press next and you haven't selected a vocab list, it produces errors for previous, forward, and flip card because nothing has been selected. So we need to click the blue button, pick which study set we want to do. In this case, we're going to do Portuguese. Press continue. And then we can even change the color of our study set if we are sensitive to a certain color. And then we can see what is hi in Portuguese. It is Olá. And then we can go to the next card to run, and then backed up to run, correr, to sit, sentar, water bottle, garrafa, table, mesa. And then once you hit the end of the list, you can see that there's another alert that pops up saying we've reached the end of the list, and same with that other direction. If we go to the console, this will become more relevant after we inspect here. And we can go to the console. As you can see, all of these things that popped up. The main thing is the meaning of life in array 42 is 0 index. This is showing that we were able to use the ES6 array tools, as well as output recursion using Fibonacci in JavaScript. And then these are the different error messages that popped up that match the alert, as well as outputting and showing where we are. And then these color button is showing what selector we use when we are changing the colors. And so more than anything, this is there for when I go to add more features to the program, that I'll be able to see exactly where I am at the different stages. Looking over the code, I learned a lot about JavaScript. I've programmed in Python quite a bit, but almost nothing in JavaScript. And so I used a good portion of Bootstrap for the visuals of my page. It has the Bootstrap feel. And I was able to use the JavaScript CDN, which I learned how to implement for JavaScript at the bottom of my page. And then I linked all the visual stuff that you see here to this. And so I decided to go for a class structure. I'm using vocab list, index, and term. And the idea is the index keeps track of where we are in the list at all times. That way we can get positions. And we have the option to add vocabulary lists, get the index, increase. These are all pretty simple getter and setter functions that you see all throughout here. And then it gets more complicated as we introduce more objects. Here I was able to practice using for loops with a new structure of looping through a list. It was good to be able to practice something that was different than what you would normally see in Python. And then, of course, always making sure that we're initializing, declaring the variables that we have. And so then this is for the term inside the term, or for each vocab, we have a term and a definition. And I learned how class structures work, and how to use self, the concept of self. In this case, it's this. And then also how to use CSS styling here. And then this is adding, populating the objects. And then I learned how to use get element by ID. So I use the DOM. And then I worked quite a bit with lists and selectors, as well as comparing strings and initializing the study set, and then having listener elements that the buttons listen for when it's clicked, and then once it's pressed, then we initialize the things that are actually taking place to cycle through the next card, previous cards, flip cards, and the other features. And then here, as the Easter egg, I put the Fibonacci sequence printed out in the console. But it's my program. I learned how to do recursion, define variables, what let means, and all the other good things that come along with JavaScript.